Hello guys, Pino here. So today I'm going to be sharing you guys the updated roadmap for Honkai Star Rail for X patch, and yeah, this is to give you guys a idea on the characters that's going to be coming up in the future, and so you guys can have a early saving and everything else. So you can have a early planning, so you can save your pulls and get the characters you like and nothing more. Unfortunately, this does contain leaks, so yeah, take everything with a grain of salt too. And starting from 4.4, we already have confirmation we will be getting Himeko XP on the first half alongside the Fate characters. And for their kids, we already know Himeko is gonna have a new gimmick with the assist skill. It's gonna be like using the characters and everything and doing a disgusting amount of damage. Her kit is mainly about her doing damage while buffing her allies, and yeah, unfortunately you have to see the gameplay to get the idea of how she works, because it's kind of hard to explain. Okay, and for the Fate units, it's pretty simple. Their main job is going to be to buff up the older Fate units, being Saber and Archer, but alongside other functions like able to do some decent damage by themselves. But their main job is to strengthen the old Fate units. So if you like Saber and Archer, they're technically buffing them while being just existing. It's kind of funny in a way. Also, with this 4.4 patch, we might also get a pulling event. After you after you pull around 200 pulls, you might get a free Gilgamesh or a free Archer Lycon. So yeah, just keep that in mind on 4.4. And moving on to the reruns, we will be getting Sparksy rerun and Cypher rerun alongside Evernight. I know you guys must be confused about Evernight getting a rerun this early, but there's a reason, and the reason is going to be coming on dropping around 4.5 patch, it being Robin SB. So Robin SB is going to be the first half character of 4.5, and she's going to have really good synergy with Himeko Noa and Evernight. Her core gimmick is going to be all about stacking memo sprites, and I don't know how she's going to work with Himeko, but I could see her working with Evernight and stacking Memoria stack for her and doing ridiculously high damage. Her main kit, like I said, is about stacking Memo Sprite, and she's more of a buffer at low investment. At high investment, she does become a sub DPS just like base Robin, so a good thing to know. And she's currently considered to be a Wind Remembrance unit. And for the second half of 4.5, we will be getting Adventure in SB. And of course, he's going to be part of the Mono Men team. And that's going to be dropping soon in the future. He's going to be an Elation follow-up unit. I know he's Elation, but trust me, he's going to work with Ashwell and Blade mainly. He's not going to have a Mono Elation team. He's actually weaker on a Mono Elation team. That's kind of funny in my opinion. And I think it's the better choice, because I prefer Mono follow setup rather than an Elation setup, because we barely have enough supports to run 2 Elation teams. And yeah, you don't want a third one on top of it. So him being part of the follow-up setup is much better. And now for the reruns, the only thing I think is going to be dropping is Ashwell. I think Ashwell is going to be 100% dropping alongside what's his name, Adventure in SB. And for the other character, the highly likely one is going to be Hyacinth, because we will be getting another healer soon, so they will try to rerun Hyacinth and get as much as revenue. And for the rest, we have no idea. Plus Hyacinth could have decent synergy with Robin SB and everything, so yeah. And moving on to 4.3, I just don't want to miss any numbers. And for 4.4, first off, we will be getting Pearl, and she will be a Elation sustainer that's going to be having a really good sustain capability for Elation team while buffing speed. So she's going to be buffing your ally speed while sustaining, and yeah, she's going to be the best sustainer for Elation teams, mainly for Silverwolf, and she's going to be the last bit of buff Silverwolf team going to receive. And yeah, so for Elation sustain, you have to wait till 4.6 to get Pearl. And unfortunately, outside that, we don't know anything about her kit. All we know is she's going to be buffing speed while sustaining, and her majority of damage is going to be coming from her basic attack. And for the second half, unfortunately, we don't know the character name, but the character is going to be a Remembrance healer. I know 2 sustains in the same patch, highly unlikely, but there's gonna be a remembrance healer that will be dropping on 4.6 likely, and this character could be either Rekka, Mikhail, or even Stephen Lloyd. We just don't know who it is, but the character is going to be a Remembrance healer. That's going to be the last part of the Mono Men team, and the main ability of this Remembrance character is going to be copying follow-up attacks. Again, I don't know how it's going to work with the other Remembrance characters, but its main ability is going to be copying follow-up attacks. So for the Sustainer, unfortunately, like I said, we don't know who it is, but I think it's going to be Rika. I think Rika is going to have the highest likely of this character being. And there's also a chance of this character being free because Hoyoverse usually gives out a free character around this time. Last time we got Danny, and this time we might get Rekka. If it is Rekka, there's a high chance of him being free. But, you know, they can also not give him out for free, so don't get your hopes high. But yeah, also like I said, two sustainers usually don't drop at the same time, but you know, times have changed. You know, sustainers are way more valuable now than ever, so because of all the end games and stuff, so there is a possibility. And unfortunately, the reruns, we have no idea, but I think the highest likely character is going to be Silverwolf XP, just because her synergy with Pearl could be really good, and they could just rerun her at this time. It's a pretty good time for her rerun, in my opinion. And for the rest, no idea. Literally no idea. Maybe Blade SP could get a rerun, but we have to wait and see for that. And moving on to 4.7, we will be getting the last flagship of 4X patch, being Nihilix. She's going to be the solo run of this patch, and she's going to be the only character that's going to be dropping on 4.7. Alongside, this is the best part, the buffed, you know, Acheron and buffed Danny. So yes, those characters will receive some sort of Nova Flare or some sort of buff. But unfortunately, we don't know yet. But they will be joining the Nova Flare or the buff scenario, alongside Nihilix being the solo 5-star of the patch. And for her kid, it said she's going to be a support at E0, but at E1 and E2 she will become a DPS, and she's going to scale off speed. And unfortunately, outside that, we know nothing about Nihilix. And yeah. And yes, this is going to be the last patch of Plan Arcadia, and not the last patch of 4.x. There will be a 4.8 patch, but unfortunately, we have no idea which character is coming or which planet we are going for the last patch of 4x patch. So we just have to wait for that. And like I said, we have zero idea on the character or anything, but there will be a 4.8 patch from what we learned. And yep, that's it for all the characters that are going to be coming on the future patches. Also, there will be a Nova Flare for Sunday and Jiaochu in between these patches. It's just we don't know which patch they are coming, and there will be a Nova Flare, but we just don't know where it is. So I'm not gonna just tell a random patch. It's better if we just wait and see which patch it is. But I think the highly likely patch is going to be 4.5 or 4.6. Then they'll probably buff Acheron in 4.7 alongside Nihilix, and you know, they'll release her alongside Nihilix, or maybe do a rerun so they can have a pretty good sales with them before we go to 5x, in my opinion. So yeah, that's all the changes the characters that's going to be dropping on the 4x patch. And I hope you guys save your pulls, because it's gonna get hard, like real hard. A lot of good characters gonna be coming soon, and yeah, hope you guys have enough, you know, pulls saved up, because yeah, it's gonna get rough real soon. And like always, guys, have a great day. And if you find this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, bye.